The story begins with a group of friends having a lively party at night. Everyone is laughing and enjoying themselves except for one girl who sits silently and looks sad. When her friends notice her, they all ask, "What's wrong? Why are you so upset?" She replies that a new app has been launched on the market that tells the downloader the exact time of their death. The girl says, "I'm upset because I downloaded that app earlier this morning. When I opened it, it told me that I will die exactly 15 days from today." Hearing this, the friends all laugh at her. Jokingly, they all download the app. They make a bet. According to the app, whoever is going to die the earliest must drink all the drinks on the table alone. Before the app finishes installing, each of them is shown a user agreement, the terms and conditions, and, like most people, they accept it without reading. After that, everyone begins to see a countdown showing the remaining time of their life. They take turns showing each other how much time they have left. Some get told they have 20 more years, some 60. But Courtney looks worried. When she shows her phone to her friends, the app says she has only 3 hours left. The countdown will hit 0 and she will die. Courtney is terrified. Her friends try to reassure her, saying, "Don't be afraid, it's only a joke." The rules of the game say whoever has the least remaining time must drink all the drinks on the table. Since Courtney's phone shows only 3 hours left, she loses the game. Her boyfriend Evan steps in and, instead of letting her drink, drinks all the alcohol himself. After the party ends, Courtney and Evan get into a car to go home. Because Evan drank too much, Courtney refuses to let him drive. Evan ignores her and continues anyway, so Courtney, already terrified by the app, gets out of the car and decides to walk home alone. Evan repeatedly tells her to get back in, but when she refuses, he angrily leaves her and drives away. At that moment, Courtney receives a notification on her phone. She has violated the user agreement. She doesn't understand what it means, and seeing that message frightens her even more. Then a man wearing a black coat appears to be following her. Courtney gets another alert saying she only has 7 minutes left. Panicked, she hurries home. The moment she enters, strange noises fill her ears, and the app's alarm keeps buzzing so loudly that, in desperation, she turns the phone off. But the phone turns itself on again, and the countdown resumes. Finally, something unseen drags Courtney up, and as the countdown reaches 0, she falls and dies. We then realize the app wasn't a joke. It really did show a person's remaining life accurately. Evan crashes his car. He survives, but the seat where Courtney would have sat has a large piece of wood embedded in it, meaning Courtney would indeed have been killed by that very crash. After that, the scene shifts to a hospital where a nurse named Queen pushes a trolley into a patient's room. She notices a patient has left the room without breakfast. Queen knows where he likely went, so she goes straight to him only to find that the patient is Evan. He's frantic and tells Queen everything about the countdown app, how his girlfriend downloaded it and was killed exactly when the app said she would be. Queen tries to comfort Evan, saying it must be a coincidence. How could an app tell anyone when they'll die? She tries to calm him and prepare him for surgery. But Evan refuses to be operated on at any cost because he too has downloaded the countdown app. It shows he has only 19 hours left, and that 19 hours later he's scheduled for an operation. He believes he'll die during that surgery. Queen tells him not to worry. Sometime later, Queen meets the head nurse and is brought along. There, the doctor and staff surprise Queen with cake because she passed the nurse's exam. While everyone is eating cake, Queen tells them about Evan's countdown app. Others reveal they've heard about the app too. Playing around, they downloaded it to check their remaining time. Dr. Sullivan, the hospital's chief doctor, checks his phone and is elated. His app shows he will live to 90 years, and the other staff get long lifetimes too. Then someone brings in a woman who had overdosed. Her heart and breathing had stopped, but they bring her back with an injection. After a long day, when Queen returns home, she receives a notification about the countdown app and, not taking it seriously, she downloads and accepts the terms without reading them carefully. She finds out the app says she has only 2 days left. It unnerves her, but she brushes it off and goes home. Queen lives with her father and younger sister Jordan. Their mother died a year earlier in a car accident. The next day at the hospital, Evan grows frantic as his remaining time is ticking down to minutes. He decides to run away instead of having surgery. As he starts to run, his phone notifies him that he has broken the user agreement. We learn what breaking the user agreement means. When someone who's seen their remaining time tries to avoid or delay their death, they violate the terms, and that violation triggers something death cannot be avoided. Courtney had exited the car and walked to try to escape her fate. By breaking the agreement, she was killed. Evan tries to escape his fate by fleeing the hospital. As he goes, he sees a dark shadow behind glass. When he turns, no one's there. Suddenly, the glass in front of him shatters. Terrified, he runs toward the stairwell, but the lights go out. He hears footsteps. He turns on his phone's torch and, to his horror, sees what appears to be his girlfriend Courtney, but she's become a demon. He drops his phone down the stairs. A short time later, the ghost throws Evan down the stairs and kills him. When Queen arrives at the hospital, she learns Evan fell down the stairs and died. His final words about 19 hours echo in her mind, and she begins to suspect the app may really be causing these deaths. To confirm her suspicion, Queen goes to where Evan's body was placed. She takes Evan's phone and tries to check it, but it's face locked. She strips off some of Evan's clothing and puts the phone to his face to unlock it. The phone opens and she sees the countdown at 0. Convinced, she looks up at Evan's corpse and his head turns by itself toward her. Horrified, she quickly returns the body to the freezer. Now, aware that the app could affect her too, her own app says she has only 1 day left, and she was supposed to visit her mother's grave the next day. Queen calls her father and cancels the cemetery visit to try to avert fate. Then a notification tells her she has broken the user agreement. She becomes frantic. Dr. Sullivan calls Queen into a room under the pretense of asking for help with a patient, but in reality, he tries to assault her. Queen escapes and goes to the head nurse with her complaint, but before she can explain, the head nurse is distracted by another assignment. That night, Queen searches online for information about the app and finds reports about Cottony. A girl in a video says that after downloading the app, she started seeing her dead brother's ghost, and when her countdown reached 0, she died. Queen looks at the comments to find people calling the video fake, which gives her some uneasy relief. She closes her laptop and then Evan's ghost appears and terrifies her. When she switches on the light, he vanishes. Again, she receives a notification. She has violated the user agreement. In a panic, she smashes her phone on the floor and spends the night in her car. My dear friends, please like the video and subscribe to the channel so that you can receive notifications for the next video. Also tell me, have you downloaded this app? Let me know in the comments. The next morning, Jordan wakes Queen. Back in their room, Jordan sees Queen's broken phone still showing the countdown and says, "You downloaded this app too?" Queen panics. Jordan is also a user. Since Queen's screen was shattered, she goes out to buy a new phone thinking the killer app won't be on it, but the moment she powers up the new device, the app downloads itself. Furious, Queen asks the shopkeeper what's going on, but he doesn't know. He tries to delete it, but there is no delete option. Queen angrily leaves with the new phone. A young man named Matt, who has also been asking the shopkeeper about the app, approaches and hears Queen's story. He tells her he too downloaded the app. He explains that when he downloaded it, he had read the terms and conditions, unlike Queen, who admitted she had instantly accepted them without reading. Matt says he made the same mistake, and they both regret not reading the agreement. Matt spots a drunk man in the bar and gets an idea. If they can get the drunk to download the app, they can view the terms and see the rules. They coax the drunk into installing it. When they get to the terms, Queen takes the phone and carefully reads them. They learn a critical rule. Once you see your death time on the app, you cannot deliberately try to avoid it. If you break the user agreement by trying to avert your death, something enforces the predicted outcome. The drunk man, being reckless, still accepts the terms. Fortunately for him, the app gives him 40 more years. That's when Queen remembers a priest at her hospital who might know how to deal with demons. She and Matt go to see him for help. Before they leave, the head nurse calls Queen into a meeting where Dr. Sullivan accuses Queen of harassing him. Before she can defend herself, the meeting's chair ignores her and fires Queen. Her job loss no longer matters. Her life is at stake. Queen and Matt go to a church and find the priest Father John that the earlier priest recommended, an expert in demonic matters. They tell him everything about the app. Father John tells them a story from the Bible-like lore. 100 years ago, a prince, fearful of dying in battle, asked an old gypsy woman if he would survive. She said she could tell him exactly when he would die, but warned that after learning the time, he must not try to avoid his death. The prince agreed and learned he would die in battle. Out of fear, he sent his younger brother to fight in his place. The younger brother survived and they won the war. But a demon named Ozin followed the cowardly prince and tormented him until, exactly at the foretold time, the prince was killed. Father John concludes that a demon named Ozin might be behind the app in the present. The app could be a form of Ozin. Father John says the only way to free someone from this fate is to capture the app's code. If they take the code to him, he can study it and perhaps break the demon's hold. Queen and Matt hurriedly go back to the phone shop and beg the shopkeeper to hack the app. At first, he refuses, but Queen pays him, and after many hours, he finally hacks it and extracts the source code. Queen quickly photographs the code so she can show it to Father John. They discover that the shopkeeper is one of the app's millions of users. By tampering with the database, he manipulates his own lifespan and sets his age to over 100. The hack works. With full access to the app's backend, the shopkeeper can increase anyone's predicted remaining years. He helps Queen and Matt by lengthening their countdowns too. Then Queen notices her sister Jordan's name in the database. Jordan's death was scheduled 3 minutes earlier than Queen's, which means both were supposed to die in the same accident. Queen extends Jordan's lifespan as well. The pair rejoice until that relief proves temporary. That night, for safety, Queen and Matt decide to sleep together in the same room. Before bed, Queen asks Matt why he downloaded the app in the first place. Matt explains his younger brother used to be sick and then died. Since then, Matt has been terrified of death and wanted to know how long he had left. Queen recounts how, as a teenager, she once sneaked to a party, and her mother went out to look for her. On the way, the mother had a fatal car accident. After sharing stories, they fall asleep. At midnight, the demon returns. Queen hears a strange voice and wakes to find a hand on Matt's stomach. She shakes him, but the real Matt is at the door. The intruder is the demon imitating Matt's dead brother to lure him out of a protective circle. The demon attacks Queen, but Matt fights it off and pulls the blanket away, causing the demon to flee. They soon realize their earlier hack provided no lasting protection. The countdowns have reverted to their original time. Queen grows worried about Jordan. The demon begins to terrorize Jordan too. Before anything terrible can happen to Jordan, Queen rushes to her. The three of them, Queen, Jordan, and Matt, go to Father John. Father John studies the hacked code and understands that the user agreement's curse is tied to Ozin. Anyone who breaks the agreement triggers the curse. That, in fact, could be an advantage because if they can prove Ozin false, the curse might be broken. They prepare a ritual. The four of them, Queen, Jordan, Matt, and Father John, go to a basement and draw a protective circle of mantras and sigils. Matt has only minutes left. As the lights begin to flicker, signaling the demon's approach, Father John instructs everyone to remain inside the circle. They must never step out or they'll be vulnerable. Soon, the demon appears but cannot enter the circle. Then the demon takes the form of Matt's dead brother to trick him. Overcome with emotion, Matt steps outside the circle to reach the apparition. The demon grabs his foot and pulls him away. Queen rushes after him. Outside, Matt seems perfectly fine standing on the road. Then a speeding car suddenly hits him and kills him. His phone's countdown hits 0. Queen witnesses Matt's death and devastation comes over her. Now it's Jordan's turn next on the countdown, but Queen sees Jordan has been badly injured while getting out, so she brings her to the hospital for treatment. Meanwhile, a nurse at the hospital tells Queen that she was right about Dr. Sullivan. He had tried to flirt with her as well. Queen's eyes fall on that despicable Dr. Sullivan. She realizes the doctor's app says he will live to 90 years. If she kills him now, Ozin's prediction would be falsified and the curse might be broken, saving her and Jordan. Determined, Queen lures the doctor to a secluded area behind the hospital by telling him she wants her job back and is willing to do anything. The doctor, blinded by lust and desperation, comes. Queen hides with an iron rod and strikes him, injuring him severely. She has brought morphine with her and is about to inject him when the demon appears. She pulls the doctor away and saves him. The doctor escapes from there. Now it's Jordan's time to die. Only 2 minutes are left on her countdown. The demon appears to kill her. Jordan tries to hide, but the app reveals her location, and the demon catches her. Just then, Queen steps forward and prepares to inject herself with the morphine, hoping that by doing so, at least her sister's life will be saved. The demon takes the form of her mother to emotionally manipulate her. Seeing her mother, Queen becomes emotional, but soon realizes it's just another trick of the demon. Without hesitation, Queen injects the morphine into herself, dying before her predicted time, which proves Ozin to be a liar. The demon screams, turns into smoke, and vanishes. Queen's plan succeeds, and Jordan's life is saved. Jordan runs to her sister and begins to cry beside her. Then she notices that there's a medicine name written on Queen's arm. Jordan sees the same medicine vial in Queen's hand. She quickly fills the injection with it and injects Queen, which reverses the effect of the morphine. Queen comes back to life, and both sisters survive.